Hey, listen, it's been crazy. I know we haven't really known each other that long. I feel like just yesterday you drove into my life and we just got after it really quick. Things went from zero to pretty involved really fast. And that's cool. I mean, it doesn't scare me. Everything just feels right. You know, we've been vulnerable to each other. You've hurt me a little bit, but you really opened up and shown me some things. And I mean, I've seen some things that not a lot of people have seen, and that's a huge thing for you to be so vulnerable and open up to me like that. But I think our relationship's ready. I think I'm ready to move on to the next step. What do you think? Is it okay? Is it okay if I put it in? God, what's wrong with me? Clearly, I'm an odd individual, but that's all right. I spent a lot of time in the shop by myself, as you can tell. Okay, so for today, here's the plan. The motor is prepped. It's ready to go into the car. I just need to locate some of the hardware, and I've set the engine hoist up so I can more easily get the angle of the dangle correct. And I moved the Falcon over. You can see here. Let me get in an area. I moved it kind of catty corner into the shop so I can run with the door shut today, because it's like 30 degrees out there. But thankfully we're climate controlled in here finally. Last year I wasn't, and the winter it was just off limits. Once it would get below about 50 degrees, this shop was an ice box, and it was just impossible to work in. But we've got that going, and now it's year-round bliss in here. So anyways, let's get started on this. The idea now that I got it mostly in place is I'm going to run the leveler all the way to the front and give me a little bit extra lift from the front, because the bumper's hitting the ram. It's a lot easier when the front of the car is disassembled, because you don't have to do all this monkey moving around. So I got a jack under the tail shaft of the transmission right now, and that's going to be supporting the aft end, and this is going to be supporting the front. There probably will end up being very little, if any, tension on the rear chains. Would you just look at the glow coming off this bald head? Hey, PSA to the men, if you're going bald, embrace it. I know we're kind of inundated with all this, like, you gotta have your hair, it's your vitality. Shave that shit. Like that. Girls think it's sexy. I'm telling you. Okay, seriously, let's get back to what we're talking about here. A fella would say, hey, can you do that by yourself? And the answer is yeah, you can. You can do it all by yourself. But what you need to know about putting an engine in a Ford by yourself is that it fucking sucks. It sucks real bad. Now, the reason I preface that with saying with a Ford is because they've got this old baby right here. That old baby right there, she ain't going nowhere. And that is the problem. Look, I got one over here too. This old baby right here. Can you see? That old baby right there, she ain't going anywhere. Now, the reason we have a core support that does not remove from the vehicle is probably manufacturing bean count and stuff in the 1960s. They're like, hey, if we just fold all this sheet metal together and then slap it in and glue it home, we can save 43 cents per unit. So they probably went with it. I need some paper towels. I don't stock a lot of things in my shop, but I do stock those. So that's why we have that. I remember when I first started working on cars, let me put you up on the stand here, we're gonna do story time. When I first started working on cars, I was, I don't know, 13. And all I knew was Fords. So this one-piece core support deal, that was normal. But then, later in life, I started working professionally and seeing other things. And I would get Novas and Chevelles and things of that nature in the shop, and I would have them blown apart in like 30 minutes because I could keep the clip in one piece and pull it off the front of the truck or the car or whatever, and boom, everything came right out the front. Dude, I was like, Ford, where you at? What are you doing, man? But I will say this. I think Ford makes a superior product. I'm a Ford guy. It's just, it's what it is. The finishing and the attention to detail, like even like down to like casting and fastener locations and just the finish work of like their machining and stuff, I think it's superior. The people are gonna fight me for this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. The worst is Mopar. I don't know if you've ever seen like a casting from a Mopar block, but it looks like they rolled it down the road. Like seriously. I know they make big power and all that other stuff, but just a Ford guy, leave me alone. Okay, I need to find the transmission cross member. It's around here somewhere. That's the next thing. Here it is. I did. Here it is. I was looking for that. Okay. All right. Got it. Oh no. I think the smart move on this is to bolt the cross member to the transmission and then jack everything up into place. Okay, transmission mount is installed loosely. I still got to torque everything up, but it's in there. I think I'm going to crawl under it, and I think my game plan here is to kind of work from the bottom up so I don't have to keep going back under the car. I'm going to, first I'm going to take a break to go have some dinner. But then when we come back, I'm going to get that bottom cross member tightened up. And then I think I'm going to deal with all the clutch stuff, the clutch line and everything like that, make sure there's clearance. Then I'm going to install the headers. And then that way, all the bottom of the car stuff will be done. And I can just work just on the in the engine bay side of the car and start working in here, get it ready to run. Transmission cross member is bolted up. So all the underneath stuff is done. with the exception of the driveline and the exhaust. What I want to do now is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to double check all these spark plugs, make sure they're all tight, and then I'm going to start fighting with headers. So that'll be fun. Okay, we're going to put this header in. Now the Ford, we talked about, it doesn't have a bunch of room. So when you put these headers in, they go in from the bottom. And it's a lot like juggling cats. You ever juggled cats? That's what this is like. I'll turn you around and let you watch. It's a cluster. There's no good, fun, easy way to do this. Putting headers in these Mustangs is it's a chore. Here we go. Okay, that's gonna make a liar out of me. That went on way too easy. Okay, I've never had that easy of a time, but these are really good headers. These are Doug's, and maybe just the fit is that much better. We'll get some anti-seize to put on these before I run them all the way in. This side's done. They all went in really easy, with the exception of that one. That one was tough, but the rest of them pretty smooth. You really, let me turn you around. When you buy these headers, you get what you pay for. I mean, I ran Headmans on that car for a while, and they fit, but they were such a pain. This is probably a $600 to $800 set of headers. I could be off. I think that's what they cost. They're Doug's and ceramic coated Doug's, and dude, they fit so well. If you can afford the better stuff, get it. It's a time saver for sure. It really is. You get what you pay for most of the time. Hey guys, I'm gonna throw some video footage of a little local car show that we went to. I had the kids with me for the afternoon, and we wanted to go check this little car shot, so I'm gonna roll that footage in here now. Some cool stuff. guys, we're gonna call it done for this one, for the engine install video. For all intents and purposes, this engine's installed. It's bolted into the car. So we've got a few, you know, kind of supporting things to do. I gotta finish the cooling system, fuel lines, new carburetors going on, so there's gonna be some differences there, and tidy up the wires. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna route these coolant hoses. But it's coming along. So I think next video we're gonna do some wiring and maybe start this thing up. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. But as always, guys, thanks so much for coming around. I appreciate our time together. It means the world to me that you guys have decided to click on the video and watch. And some of you even watch it this far. Not very many of you, but that's okay. All right, guys, so again, that's it. We're gonna be back soon with the next one, so look for that. Again, thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you on the next one, making some noise with this car right here. Thanks.